Have you ever imagined that the love of your life might have started when you were still children? Before the fame, before the battles, before the world almost ended. It all started long before the moon fell. It started with tears. It started with mockery. It started with a torn scarf. Hinata was small, shy, different. Her light eyes drew attention, but not in a beautiful way. Other children surrounded her, pointed, laughed. They said she was strange, that her eyes were scary. And there she was, trying to hold back the tears, until she couldn't anymore. And it is at this moment that someone appears. Naruto. Not the hero, not the savior of the war. Just a boy alone. He sees the scene, and something inside him reacts immediately. He tries to use shadow clones, but the clones all go wrong. Crooked, ridiculous. The children laugh at him, but Naruto doesn't back down. He gets beaten up, he falls, he bleeds, and the scarf he was wearing is ripped off and torn in front of him. When Naruto wakes up, the bullies are already gone. Hinata is there. She thanks him. She shows him the destroyed scarf. Naruto says it doesn't matter, but for her, it did matter. That day, Hinata saw something that no one else saw in Naruto courage, and something silent was born there. Time passes. At the Ninja Academy, Iruka asks a question that seemed like just an exercise, but would become a prophecy. Imagine it's the end of the world, that the moon is going to collide with the earth. Write the name of the person you would like to spend your last moments with. Naruto looks at the paper. He never knew his parents. He had no friends. He had no one. He crumples the paper and makes a paper airplay. Hinata looks at him and writes a name, Naruto Uzumaki. He never knew, but destiny was already being written there. Years passed. Since that day of the torn scarf, Naruto was no longer the boy who was beaten alone. He trained until he collapsed. He fought until he couldn't anymore. He cried in secret. He lost important people. He faced monsters. He faced gods. He faced his own darkness. And he won. That rejected boy became the hero of the village. The people who once ignored him now smiled when he passed by. Children ran after him. Other villagers wanted to meet him. They wanted photos. They wanted stories. Naruto finally had what he always wanted. Recognition. But there's an irony in all of this. He was recognized by the whole world, except for what really mattered, because there was someone there, always there. Hinata never stopped looking at him, the same way she looked at him that day in his childhood, even when he didn't notice, even when he was too busy trying to save the world. And then, the world decides it really needs saving. The moon begins to move. At first, it seems strange, then worrying, then terrifying. It's falling. The cages hastily gather. If this continues, the collision will be inevitable. There will be no village. There will be no country. There will be nothing. Iruka's childhood exercise ceases to be imagination. The end of the world is now real. In a quiet part of the village, far from the political chaos and the celestial threat, Hinata is sitting, sewing. A scarf. Red. Just like the one Naruto lost defending her. But this isn't just a gift, it's a confession. Each stitch is a moment. She's kept the Naruto who shouted that he would be Hokage. The Naruto who smiled even when hurt. The Naruto who never gave up. She puts her heart into each thread, and decides she will give it. She will speak. She will finally say what she feels. But when she gets close to him, Naruto is surrounded. Girls laughing. Admirers demanding attention. People wanting to be near the war hero. And Naruto, innocent as always in these things, accepts the invitation to eat with them without noticing anything. Nothing. Hinata stands still, the gift in her hands, her heart racing. She tries to smile. She says she's not hungry, and she leaves alone. Sakura notices, and for the first time, Sakura perfectly understands the situation. She goes after Hinata. She tells her she needs to have confidence, that Naruto is too dense to perceive subtle signs. You need to say it, Sakura insists. And that night, Hinata decides she will. She finishes the scarf. She takes a deep breath. She rehearses the words. Naruto has always been before me. He has always inspired me. I want to walk beside him forever. But when she arrives, she sees something that paralyzes her. Naruto is already wearing a green scarf. Her world freezes. Who gave it to her? Has someone else already occupied the space she never dared to occupy? Her stomach clenches, her heart sinks. And without asking, without trying to understand, she accepts that she lost. Without knowing that the scarf was just an old memento from Naruto's mother. found among the third Hokage's belongings. And as if that weren't enough, Hanabi, Hinata's sister, is kidnapped. This changes everything, but fate doesn't allow time for regrets. Because at that moment, Toneri appears. He emerges before Hinata and says something that changes everything. "I came for you." He captures her. Naruto, and something inside him explodes. It's not just duty, it's not just a mission, it's instinct. Clones appear by the thousands. Blows. Fly. Naruto knocks down enemies with brutal force. He pursues Toneri without hesitation. Hinata is carried into the sky. Naruto leaps after her. More enemies appear. He uses the Raisin Shuriken, destroying everything in his path. He reaches Hinata, but she falls. Her scarf gets caught on a structure. She holds on. The fabric begins to tear. She looks down, and Naruto runs. He saves her. He catches her before she touches the ground. And for a second, everything is silent. But Toneri reappears. Naruto tries to hit him. He steps back and says, "I will return for you, Hinata," and disappears. Soon after, a massive meteor streaks across Konoha's sky and crashes beyond the Hokage Mountains. The ground trembles. The sky, darkens. And Toneri, outside the village, declares that Earth will be destroyed. Because now, it's not just an official mission, it's personal. Kakashi forms a special team: Naruto, Hinata, Sakura, Shikamaru, and Sai. Before they leave, Shikamaru receives a top-secret watch, an artifact that marks the time remaining until Earth's destruction. It only advances when the planet is under real threat, and it is advancing. Every second is a warning. Time is running out. Meanwhile, the mission is now urgent. The team sets off to investigate the spot where Sai lost the kidnappers. Hinata uses the Byakugan. She finds Hanabi's kunai, but Naruto notices something. She's not wearing her scarf. He asks why. Hinata changes the subject. The silence between them grows. They find a huge spring and enter a cave. The water distorts Hinata's Byakugan. Naruto says he'll take off his scarf before going in. Sakura asks what the problem is with getting wet. He replies, "It's special to me." Hinata listens, and her heart clenches again. They dive in. The water runs out. They begin to float. An intense light envelops them, and the past begins to mix with the present. But this is the beginning of the revelation. Because in the next part, Naruto will finally see. And when he sees, nothing will ever be the same again. Want to continue? The light that envelops the group is not ordinary. It doesn't just blind the eyes, it invades the mind. Naruto feels his body light, as if he were floating in something that is not water, not air. It's memory. And suddenly, he's no longer on the moon. He's at the academy. He's small again. He hears Iraka's voice asking, "If the world were to end, who would you spend your last moments with?" He sees his younger self looking at the paper, empty, no name to write, no one to choose. And it hurts, because now he understands what that silence meant. It was loneliness. He sees himself making the paper airplane, laughing, awkwardly disguising it. But the scene doesn't end there. He looks back and sees Hinata small, determined, writing something. He approaches, and finally reads, "Naruto Uzumaki." Time seems to stop. Naruto feels something tighten in his chest. Because that day, he thought he had no one. But he did. He always had. The memory shifts. Now he's in the Chunin exams. He remembers the fight against Kiba. He remembers the smell of blood. He remembers the fear. But he also remembers something he'd never paid attention to before. Hinata cheering him on, believing in him, looking at him as if he were already incredible. Before he was. Another memory surfaces: Hinata, handing him ointment for his wounds. Her shy manner, her trembling hands. He hadn't realized how significant that was. To him, it was just kindness. To her, it was care. Then comes the most painful memory. Pain, destruction. The village reduced to rubble. Naruto trapped, unable to move, and Hinata stepping in front of him, alone, knowing she had no chance. She fights, falls, gets up and says she loves him. Naruto relives it. But this time he's not consumed by rage. He is conscious. He listens to every word. "I've always been behind you. I wanted to walk beside you. I love you." The memory doesn't end there. It blends with others. Sakura talking to Hinata, saying that maybe Naruto doesn't understand what love is, saying that he confuses feelings. Naruto realizes something harsh. Hinata was always clear. He was the one who wasn't able to see, and that weighs on him. because Naruto always hated the idea of not noticing when someone was suffering. And there he was, blind. While she waited, the light begins to weaken. Sakura calls for him. They awaken. Shikamaru realizes it was a trap. A genjutsu created 2 trap victims in their own dreams. But for Naruto, it wasn't just a trap, it was a revelation. He gets up different, thoughtful. They continue their journey across the moon. The atmosphere is strange. The sky doesn't look real. The sun is artificial. Everything seems empty, as if that world had been forgotten. They find another spring. Naruto seems to want to speak. He looks at Hinata. He takes a deep breath. About what we saw. But he stops. He doesn't know how to organize his feelings. Because Naruto was never good with words. He was always about action. Only now, action doesn't solve anything. Hinata takes a few steps to follow him. But Toneri appears before her. Silent, confident, double quotes. I said, I'd come back. She asks about Hanabi. He answers with frightening tranquility. She's fine. And then he says something that changes everything. You will marry me. Hinata freezes. Not out of love, out of duty. Because Hanabi is in his hands. Because the fate of the earth is tied to the Tensei. Naruto realizes she didn't cross the spring. He goes back. But it's too late. Toneri takes her. Naruto runs after him. They face off. Naruto lands a perfect blow. But the body falls apart. It's just a puppet. Toneri's voice echoes. Next time, I'll come for you myself. Naruto stands still, frustrated. Feeling something he can't yet name. They leave the cave and see Earth in the distance. Small, blue, vulnerable. They are on the moon. There's no easy way back. That night, while everyone rests, Naruto sees something that makes him stop. Hinata, sitting alone, sewing. The scarf is still in her hands. Even after almost being kidnapped, even with the world crumbling, she's still putting love into the threads. Naruto watches from afar and notices something simple and devastating. She never gave up on him. The next day, they arrive at an ancient village. Silent. Abandoned. Hinata gets caught in webs. Naruto immediately runs over. He carefully removes the webs from her hair, a care he wouldn't have realized he possessed before. She asks about the green scarf. He replies that it's special. She keeps it to herself. Later, Naruto falls and hurts his back. Hinata helps him. She applies ointment, and he says, I remember when you did this during the exams. She's surprised, because he's remembering, he's paying attention. She tries to recount what Toneri said, but they are interrupted by ancient inscriptions. The Tensei Gan, the eye capable of destroying humanity. An elder appears. He shows visions of an ancient war. He speaks of Hamura, Otsutsuki, about a misinterpreted decree, about destroying Hagoromo's creation. Everything connects. Toneri believes he needs to destroy Earth to fulfill a legacy, and he needs Hinata to awaken his ultimate power. That night, Naruto approaches her. He asks what she wanted to say about Toneri. She replies that it's nothing, but asks to be alone. Naruto walks away. His heart is heavy, because he finally understands. He loves Hinata, but he hasn't said it yet. And the worst fear begins to surface. What if he's understanding too late? Because Toneri won't wait, and the clock of destruction keeps ticking. The night is silent under the moon, but it's a heavy silence. Naruto can't sleep. The memories still echo in his mind. Hinata writing his name. Hinata facing pain. Hinata saying she loves him. Hinata always there. He clenches his fists. He finally understands. He loves Hinata, not as a teammate, not as a friend, not out of gratitude. He truly loves her, and he decides he's going to tell her. But fate is cruel to those who delay speaking. Before Naruto can talk to her, Toneri attacks again. Hinata disappears. This time, she doesn't fight. She agrees to go. Naruto arrives at the exact moment she's about to leave. She hands him the scarf. She looks into his eyes and says, I'm sorry, Naruto. This is goodbye. She climbs onto Toneri's platform and leaves. Naruto freezes it, pierces him more than any physical blow. He shouts her name. He jumps. He uses a clone to propel himself. He chases after her. Toneri launches attacks. Sai arrives to help. Shikamaru tries to hold back the enemies. Naruto manages to reach the platform. He asks, that's a lie, right? Hinata doesn't answer. Her silence destroys more than any words. Toneri smiles and attacks. Naruto responds with Rasengan. But Toneri activates the power of the Tenseigan. He drains almost all of Naruto's. The energy passes through his body. Naruto falls. The impact creates a gigantic explosion. The scarf begins to burn. Hinata screams for Toneri to stop, but it's too late. Naruto is on the ground, weakened, and there he feels the cruelest pain of all. It's not the pain of battle, it's the pain of feeling abandoned. Meanwhile, on Earth, meteors begin to fall. The villagers panic. The cages defend their people. Gaara uses his sand for protection. Kakashi coordinates evacuations. Weapons are prepared to destroy the moon if necessary. The clock is almost at zero. On the moon, Naruto is saved by Sakura, who transfers almost all of her chakra to keep him alive. Shikamaru says something that cuts deep. Even though Hinata rejected you, we still have to save her. Naruto lowers his head, but then Sakura says, "You're an idiot." She wouldn't do that without a reason. And something clicks. Naruto remembers the scarf. He remembers the paper. He remembers the memories. He stands up. He understands Hinata would never abandon him. She is protecting someone. And this time, he won't take long. Meanwhile, in Tonari's castle, Hinata discovers the truth. Hanabi is there without her eyes. Tonari ripped out her Byakugan to awaken the Tenseigan. He explains Hamara's decree. He says he will destroy Hagaramo's creation. He says he will rebuild the world. Hinata realizes he has distorted the legacy. She agrees to pretend to marry him. She agrees to weave a scarf for him. But it's all strategy. She discovers where the real Tenseigan is. She tries to destroy it, but she is captured. Tonari realizes the scarf she made was for Naruto. He destroys the fabric in front of her and implants a seal inside her body to control her. Meanwhile, Naruto invades the castle. Soldiers appear. Puppets attack. Meteors begin to fall to Earth. Shikamaru holds off enemies with his shadow. Sakura destroys giant puppets. Sai summons creatures to clear a path. Naruto enters Sage mode. He senses Hinata's chakra. He runs. He arrives, and he finds Hinata about to get married. He yells for Toneri to release her. Toneri gestures. Hinata lunges at Naruto. He realizes she's being controlled. He apologizes, and carefully, without hurting her, removes the seal from her body. She comes to her senses. She looks at him and asks for forgiveness. Naruto holds her hand and says it's not her fault. There are no more doubts. There is no more silence. They unite. Hinata activates the twin lion fists. Naruto forms the Rasengan. They combine their attacks and destroy the Tenseigan. The puppets stop. The moon slows down. Earth gains time. But Tonari absorbs solar energy. He cuts the moon in half with a golden beam. He summons a colossal monster. Naruto activates Kurama's chakra. The final battle begins. Clones appear by the thousands. Rasengans explode. The monster roars. Toneri says, "The sage's world is a failure." Naruto replies that he will never let him destroy everything. They collide in mid-air. Fists against golden energy. Until Naruto creates thousands of clones, all preparing Rasengan. Tonari tries to resist, but Naruto appears from below and delivers a sharp punch direct. That ends everything. The Tenseigan dissipates. The monster falls. The moon stops. On Earth, the order to destroy the moon is cancelled. Mission accomplished appears written on the lunar surface. Kurama complains about his own handwriting. The danger is over. Toneri survives. Naruto saves him from the explosion, and Toneri decides to stay on the moon to atone for his sins. Now there is silence. Hinata looks at Naruto. She asks about the green scarf. He explains it belonged to his mother. She feels a mixture of relief and embarrassment. They begin walking back to Earth, hand in hand. Naruto remembers Iruka's question. He looks at her. And finally says, "If the world were to end, I want to spend my last moments with you." The path begins to crumble. They almost separate. Naruto holds on tight. Hinata says, "I will never let you go." They are launched into the sky. The moon shines behind them. They land. They look at each other. They say their names. And finally, the kiss happens. It's not rushed. It's not forced. It's expected. It's deserved. It's the end of years of silence. It's the boy who thought he had no one discovering. He always had someone. It's the girl who waited being finally chosen. Under the moon that almost destroyed the world. They choose each other. And now, I ask you, which moment gave you the most goosebumps? If you felt this story, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and go watch the next video. Because this isn't the only story that will touch your heart. See you next time. Until then.